Hi, everybody. My name is Stephen G. Fullwood, and I am one of the co founders of the Nomadic Archivist Project. I am joined today by my co host, the most wonderful, most excellent Miranda Mims, and we are here today with the NAP Kickback. How are you doing, Miranda?
I'm not doing too shabby, Stephen. Not doing
Okay,
too
this is
shabby at
good.
all.
It started
I'm
out
a
a
little
little,
tired.
yes, it started
I'm a
out a
little
little, yeah.
tired, and I will
Okay.
share that because it'll be the nature of this
Yeah, this is pretty
kickback. But
awesome. And so thank you guys for joining us today. You can see former past episodes of Nat Kickback there on YouTube, as well as you can check out our In the Telling podcast where folks come on and tell a family story. We're in our fifth season and we are very pleased with our last few seasons, and we will invite you to come on and listen to us. But today we're talking about something very timely, which is really important to all of us, because I mentioned in the telling, because we are talking about what? It's a family reunion. It's family reunion time.
it's family
You're either
reunion time.
preparing for it, you're already in the midst of it. A lot of folks takes place in the summer, typically August for some of us, like my family, or both my sides of my family. And so we thought it would be great to come on and talk about the ways you can use family resources to build out your family reunion. And so it's in two parts. So the first part is about those resources, and then the second part, we're going to be talking about documenting the actual family reunion itself. So we have some really good tips for you today. And Miranda happens to be knee deep in planning our family reunion right now. And so this
Yes,
is kind of the
it's
reason why
coming
she
up on
might be a little
Thursday.
bit tired. Thursday,
Yes,
and that's 2 days from
okay.
now. And
Yes.
so the reason why I think this is, other than it being timely, what's really awesome is that typically what's happened to me is that people have asked me a lot about how to plan family reunions because they're thinking about doing one, or they're kind of like, well, how do I do it? How do I get in touch with all these people? How do you build something which feels like it's multitasking, keeping people on task about things, planning, all of that. And fortunately, I've been a part of two on both sides of my family, two groups that took time to parse out the duty. Someone was handling food, someone was handling the schedule, someone was planning entertainment. And so
Mm.
I wrote down a few things, but I want to also let you know that we are here and we want you to chat with us. So please come in, chat with us about your family reunion questions or the experiences you've had. We're pretty outgoing and very interested in what you have to say. Um, a question for you, Miranda. When did it become your not your yeah your responsibility, or you and other family members? When did you enter that space where you guys were taking care of family, taking care of the family reunion, taking care of making sure that happened?
You mean like my family in its history doing family unions, or me
Well,
particular being
you in
involved?
particular, but it's good to get the history to kind of think about like the context of how you became involved.
I mean, I think like a lot of, especially a lot of Black families around, the release of Alex Haley's Roots, a lot of people started getting interested in genealogy and coming together and creating these reunions. And I feel like that started happening in the 70s. I think our first, for at least my Bowen line, we
Hmm.
started having reunions in 1973. I think that's when we started.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
And so I think and also for the purpose of this talk, we're really going to center this discussion around how to use archival and family history
Hmm.
when celebrating your family reunions, because obviously it's a great way to connect people to their history and their past, especially if they're younger generations that don't have the same relationship with
Right.
especially
Hmm.
ancestors who have passed on. So I think, for me too, a lot of my family members here where I live and where I've grown up were very
Hmm.
much rooted in our family history and very interested in our family genealogy. And I think that also
Hmm.
is a part of why I became interested in not only like attending our family reunions and, really
Hmm.
interested in connecting with family that I've never met before, or who feel very distant, because that's often the case for a lot of family
Hmm.
reunions. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I think in terms of me doing
Hmm.
it, because I'm part of a team that's planning this year's reunion, and we haven't had a
Hmm.
reunion, like a traditional reunion, in a very, very long time. And I
Hmm.
think with, you know, generation, my older generation's getting obviously aging, and some who have
Hmm.
already passed, who have already transitioned, feeling like this is a part of my legacy to
Okay.
be, you know, to be involved in this
Involved.
way.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And
What about for
the
you?
well, I kind of took it upon myself. So on my
Okay.
dad's side, um, our family in Minden, Louisiana, took care of this reunion that was um, one of the biggest that we've ever had. It was folks coming from the north and from the west coast and so forth. So it was really, really large. And
How large?
I would say somewhere between 150 and 200 people, but it was
That's
different
large,
for
yeah.
different days. Yeah, it was quite a few people. And for the Houston side, my mom's side, they were meeting since 1997. And this was, I believe, my Aunt Margie who instituted this because of in honor of my mom's passing that same year. So we've been meeting every second Saturday in August since then. So we're in our
Wow.
27th year,
Every
20
year.
every year. So we're on to 30, that almost on to 30. Right. Hmm.
Is it always the
30.
same people planning it?
Typically, it's from my understanding, yes, because I haven't always been involved. I've only been involved more actively in the last few years.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like it's the same people, the same people.
Okay, that
And
probably helps. That
it doesn't keep,
continuity.
well, we're also looking to make sure that the younger folks come in and take up the mantle.
Yes.
Yes. So, because as you mentioned, like my sister and I and a few of my cousins, we're the elders now. Because of a lot, our parents have passed, and their parents have passed, and so I'm 60. So my thing is, I'm engaged in sharing family history. I want folks to know who people are, where they live, what their stories were to some degree, as much as I can develop. So I refuse to not share that with them, and so the family reunion is a great time to do that.
Okay. Right.
Hmm. And so, what are some of the things that you are doing that you were in charge this year to do this year?
So one is making the program book. So
Hmm.
that's something that I've been working on. We also are putting together. It was requested to have a memorial video or memorial representation of people who have passed in the family, and so
Hmm.
um, so not just like in the last decade or two, really going back
Okay.
through time. So
Oh wow.
there's a
Okay.
yeah, so there's as you can imagine, there's a number of people, and
Hmm.
coming up with like the media for something like that, especially for
Hmm.
people who there might not be any visual representation for them,
Hmm.
has been really, really interesting. But also
Hmm.
seeing, so what I did was I requested from everybody in the family, whether you're attending or not, that if you
Hmm.
have something that represents one of the one of our ancestors,
Hmm.
or one of our members who have transitioned, to send it to me so that I can add it in. Um,
Hmm. That's
and
good. Hmm.
or if I also are doing remembrances, so recording people, if they want
Okay.
to tell a story of somebody. So,
Wow.
just trying to
Wow.
do different things to represent people. So I have a lot of I have images for some people. I have videos, obviously, for the
Hmm.
family members who I've had more of a connection with,
Hmm.
videos and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, which is nice. So I'll do like a clip of somebody speaking, and add that to the
Mm-hmm.
movie. But so I've been doing things like that, and then helping to just like manage like overall reunion things. So the thing though with
Mm-hmm.
our reunion is we haven't had one in a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
we just sort of put it together within the last couple of months. And so I would
Okay.
suggest to not do that, to give yourself time. It's
Yes.
too much.
Yes.
It's too much, I think. Because you have such, you because we haven't done it in a while, we're very
Mm-hmm.
ambitious in what we want to have happen in our reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and especially for me putting in like all this archival material, family history material into um the reunion, so that people who are younger generations, or even older generations that just don't have a real, that haven't seen some of this footage or haven't met some of the
Right.
people or seen photographs or even seen their
Mm-hmm.
family trees, um, that they have this, they have this represented
Right. This sort of
within the
connection.
event.
Yeah.
But and something like this is great to kind of think about putting together over months, but doing it in a very short amount of time is a lot. Is a lot. But
I
I
can
do
imagine
think
it
that
would
it's
be.
important. It's important. And so one of the other things that I've been doing is printing out everybody who's descended from our Bowen line. I've been printing out their family trees, and I
Okay.
have the family history, and so we can see our oldest known ancestor in the
Mm-hmm.
family tree, and then we trace them to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, with the family tree, I also had the family history. So not only can
Okay.
you see that Iverson Bowen, who's our oldest known ancestor, who
Mm-hmm.
Iverson Bowen is. Like, how is he
Right.
related? How, and then so, this tree can
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
abstract. It could just be names and dates. And you can't
Right. Right.
really.
Right.
So in the history, I tried to, as much as possible, I could not do it for Iverson because I have no visual representations for him or his
Mm-hmm.
son, but um, his grandson, George Bowen. Um,
Okay.
I do have a one like really hazy photograph of, and so I
Oh
put that in
wow!
there.
Wow!
But
Wow!
I think that
Wow!
this would be, I'm hoping, and I'll, I guess the next time we do this part two, when we talk about how to document archival or things to
The
add to the
reunion.
family
Mm-hmm.
archive during the reunion,
Mm-hmm.
I'll see how this resonated with people. But I'm hoping that like not only having the family tree and the
Mm-hmm.
family history together, and it's everybody's individual. I'm printing out not just a family tree, but everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be,
This
if
is
you were in
good.
my family, it'd be Stephen Fullwood, and then it would show how you're related. So it's not
Okay.
vague, like I can see my tree. Only I
Okay.
get it, right? And my cousin
Right.
gets their trees. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that this helps to kind of put it, into perspective in a real way that people
Mm-hmm.
can like really feel and understand their history, if they've never seen it in this way. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you guys do in your for your reunions?
Don't know what I've done. Or I've done um, presentations where I show the family tree on my dad's side. What I have listed in ancestry.com.
Okay.
I also show the regions where where we are supposed to be from, right? And I kind of want to stop there by saying that what I love about you uh, printing out the family trees and the narrative is that you're sharing it with people who can help you in case there's something wrong or something that wasn't kept in. Or like, oh no, she wasn't such and such's daughter. She was such and such's daughter. They can help um, correct the record. And so one of the things that I did, or one of the things I would lead off with my presentations is if there's something in here that's incorrect, tell me after the PowerPoint. I need to know so that I can correct it. So one of the things that was similar to what you did, one year I passed out a family tree for my great grandfather
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Jefferson Fullwood, and there were a couple mistakes, and so it was really great to get those directly from people. No, these are the actual dates, And so that was good. And so I always feel like when you're in a family reunion place, there's a great time to get different, I wouldn't say the truth, but different perspectives from people who say, oh, no, 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 my nickname was this, not this. You spelled it wrong. I love that stuff. So I always want to know how to make the thing better, as we go along. So,
It is really true to like get that information. I think that what happens is there are certain lines or certain parts of your family that you know really well, and others you don't.
hmm
Um,
hmm
and so, luckily for I feel like for my family too, that I'm not a lot of this information I haven't created, right? This is
hmm
information that has been created by so many people in my family over
okay.
time. I am
hmm
putting, you know, I'm putting it together in a way.
hmm
I'm remixing it a little bit and putting it in
Okay.
this
Okay.
format. But I am building, I am like definitely standing on the shoulders of the
hmm
people in my family who have really labored hard to understand our history. and
hmm
and so I really want to emphasize that too, that
hmm hmm
my role right now, I almost feel as if it's like an archivist role. Like I have all this
Okay.
family history, I have all this
Right. Right.
material that has been created over
hmm
decades, and I'm putting it
hmm
together in this way. But
I
I am
love
not
that.
creating it. I did not do the research. Like there's a couple of
hmm
things that I have done the research on,
hmm
um,
hmm
but I haven't, so much has been done in my
hmm
family, for my family, like putting the family trees together, the family
hmm
history, a lot of that, my mother and my aunts and uncles have been really responsible for, um, right. And even the documentation, like just getting it from people, for the memorial as well.
hmm hmm
I've, there's a list of people, a number, a huge list of people. Um, but, one of the things I did, just like you, Stephen, I asked if there's somebody missing,
hmm
to let me know so I can add them. And, there definitely were, especially younger people who had passed, who had only,
Oh yeah.
some of
Uh-huh.
my
Uh-huh.
relatives who were, just a few years old when they had passed. And so, that's obviously,
Same in our
it's
family.
really,
Yeah. hmm
devastating. In a lot of times with things like that, it's those people sometimes slip through the cracks when it comes to like adding them to the family tree or to the
hmm
genealogy. And so
Agreed.
the memorial is nice. It is really nice because
Mm.
it's something that's communal, and it's something that it's a way to recognize and witness people, even if you've never met them, and to just know
Okay.
that they're part of it, our bloodline.
I love
So I
that.
don't know, but yes, I do agree. Like it is a time to do some editing. Get out your red pen. If there's something
Get out
wrong,
your red pen.
yeah, or
Yeah,
if
you
there's
want
something
this.
that doesn't make sense.
It's
Hmm.
a part of building out what you said earlier around standing on the shoulders of people who already built this. You want to continue that tradition. You want to make sure that you're adding good information as you go along.
Right.
And so we have one tip already, which is give yourself time to plan the reunion. What would be another tip that you would offer our viewers today
I mean,
when it
definitely
comes to
reach out to
planning?
family. I think
hmm
when it comes to like especially planning for like the archival piece, that
hmm
is it is labor intense, and because it's a family reunion, you're trying to be as inclusive as possible. And again,
hmm
you always you naturally gravitate towards the part of your family that you know the best. And
Yes.
there's a tendency to, sort of minimize, not on purpose. It's just what it is. Like if I have tons of, if my, let's just say one of my uncles, I'm very close with him, his kids, I grew up with them, but I have another aunt that I've never really been in touch with as
hmm
much. I don't have as much
Right.
photographs and videos for,
hmm
no matter what, the one uncle is going to have more content to think, to sift through, to use. I can do
hmm
more like storytelling because it's firsthand. Um,
Right.
But
Hmm.
so, it's kind of like lean into like getting to know people that you don't really know
Yeah,
and seeing if they will
absolutely.
contribute so that they're
Hmm.
represented in the same way. Because when people are not represented, like if you've got a picture show, for instance,
Ooh, yeah,
and if they're not represented, they're in their feelings because they're a part of the family.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah. And no one
and
reached out to them. That, yeah, absolutely. We've experienced a little bit
right,
of that.
right,
Hmm.
right. And you may have reached out. There's a
That's the
lot of
thing
like
too.
call. There's a lot of call to actions that don't get answered.
You had so yes, we had an incident like that, and it was very interesting because there was some miscommunication. That's it. They just missed each other. And
Yeah.
so fortunately that was resolved, and apologies were made, but it was charge it to my head, not to my heart kind of situation. And but it was a little at first it was because my cousin, who is really, really center on my dad's side, one of my cousins, his it's funny because he's so humble, but he's always thinking of as many people as possible. Who didn't we include? Who needs to be memorialized? We should mention graduations. We should mention businesses. What I shared with you last year from our last year reunion, 2025 in Minden, Louisiana, that I helped him with that, in terms of like building out stuff. But he had all the imaginative things that you were simply talking about. You taking the
Yeah.
opportunity to get to know this family member or these people. And let me tell you, it was great because a lot of folks in that area from Dallas and other places came. And it was great to see these people in person and to see their children and to begin forming relationships with them. So I think one of the things that comes out of building the reunion itself is that you really are getting to know people. People are, oh, you're the woman that called me. Oh, all we did was we were on Zoom for this meeting, but here you are. And I love that kind of stuff. I'm always hoping to expand the family dynamic and the family itself. So let's give
What I
ourselves. Oh, sorry. Is anyone out there who has a question or a thought about this? The kinds of things that they do when they're building out their family reunions? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Put it in the chat. Stephen, what I like what you guys do in your family is that you also do a lot of shout outs. So you
Yes.
recognize people's like, I don't know if it's something that you guys request, like the accomplishments that people have had over the past year, or
Hmm.
it's just
Hmm.
something that's, how does that come about? Like, how do you guys include that kind of
Hmm.
information in your program book?
Well, Elijah, let me tell you, that's my cousin. I wasn't gonna say his name but I have to like brag about him. Elijah is so thoughtful and engaged that he not only reaches out to people, it's part of the family conversation throughout the year that someone got married, that someone's
Mm-hmm.
business is flourishing. They might want to put a business card in the family program, in the family reunion program. Someone is a musician. Like he's finding different ways to be, like I said, as inclusive as possible. And we would reach out to people at different iterations of the program to say, hey, is this spelled right? Is there anything else we should know? I heard that such and such has an automobile rental business. So do you think he might want to put a card in? That kind of thing. And so he's intentional. He's brought in my sensibility about being intentional as well. Because I'm about to finish what I'm working on right now, a family reunion program for the Houstons, my mom's side, and that's
Mm-hmm.
coming up the second week of August. That's Saturday. So for me, it's really reaching out to people. I already sent out, hey, I'm working on this, crickets. So I'm going to continue building out and
Yeah.
getting the information that I need. And again, it's with that idea of the inclusivity and the care and also the records. We did reach out to you. You didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I called a couple times. I texted you. I emailed you. Smoke signals. You did not
Yeah.
answer. So we do this out of love. And if we've missed you, we did not. We did our best to include you. So yeah.
I think
But yeah.
that's another good tip is that obviously, it's always great to reach out to people and if you especially if
Hmm.
you have the time to have them like fact check things or see what they want to
Hmm.
include. But a lot of times there's There's not a lot of responses. I mean, we've been having family Zoom calls once a month
Yeah.
just to help with the planning, right? And
Hmm.
so, there's always a call to action, like, we're doing this, we need this,
Hmm.
and everybody's very interested. And then all of a sudden, there's just crickets. But
Yes.
I think the lesson is always this, and I don't know if it's going to be true, if it's true, if you're going to co-sign on this, Stephen. People
Okay.
actually do care when they see it. Like when they get that program book or
Oh,
when they see that video,
absolutely.
they are extremely interested. So even though there's crickets, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, dude, I don't know if people are even going to care about this. No, they do care.
No,
They
no,
do
I
care.
completely. I've seen it. People who weren't even able to attend the actual event, we sent PDFs of the program out to them. People loved it. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. They loved it. And it was quite beautiful because sometimes, as you mentioned, we're not dealing with one generation or we're dealing with multiple generations. There'll be people who keep
Right.
this, and these are what do you call it? Trails back to different ancestors and different moments that I think are really beautiful and necessary in terms of family cohesion and understanding um, where you come from, essentially. And so
Right.
I look at them as always the programs themselves as documents, obviously important documents. And so we want to get it as
Yes.
right as possible. You
Right.
know, no, they
Right.
care. People care.
People care. Even if they're not responding to you, they will care.
Mm. No, they
So
trust me.
you always have to keep that
They
in
will
mind.
care. You want to keep it in mind. And again, you do your best. People do their best. I think a lot of times, honestly, when it comes to this, Miranda, is that people feel like they might have time to get back to you.
Right.
And this is why I start early on as many things as I possibly can, because you never know up until that last point. If you're dealing with a group of different people, there's work schedules, taking care of kids, illnesses, people traveling. We don't know if they got your last email, text, phone. We don't know. So I like giving people the benefit of the doubt, and I try to take that for myself too.
Communication, that's the other piece.
Okay.
You know, I've sent out so many emails and people will tell me they have not seen the email. That
Yes.
they respond better to text. But some things don't translate to text. Like I'll have a lot of content or I have documents I'm sharing and
Hmm.
I can't
Hmm.
just share it in a text. And so there's also that, like the communication piece. And I think that's something that, I think we're still working through. I
Hmm.
think we started a Facebook page,
Hmm. Hmm.
but it was too complicated for us to do in this short amount of time. We only had a couple months. I think we had 3 months. So it was too short. It's better to like try to make that a whole thing. We had big ideas because we hadn't had a family
Yes.
reunion in a long time. I know I
Hmm.
put a lot
Hmm.
on myself to do
Uh,
all this stuff together, all this content together. And,
mhm.
but um, at the end of the day, it wasn't real, wasn't realistic. But communication is a big piece to getting it. And so,
Mhm.
calling, texting, so I would, I told people, you can just text it to me. And it doesn't even have to be a great picture. That's the other thing. Um,
Okay.
because there are a lot of people who are not as tech savvy, or who
Mhm.
can, kind of understand, like, if you've got something that, people will take pictures through glass
Love
or at an
Texas.
angle.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
so the quality is not that great. But,
Mhm.
for if somebody is not able to help them with it, or if timing is of the essence,
Mhm.
or even just knowing that this is the only way to get whatever it is that you're trying to capture, the best thing is to
Mhm.
get it. The best thing is to include it. And so if it's a grainy picture, or if it's, I try to do what I can to, make it look as best as possible. But getting
Mhm.
it is more important, than the quality. I mean, this is a family reunion. This
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
something that, I wouldn't say that it's more casual, but it's just a different environment. It's a different type of
Yeah.
event, and people just appreciate the recognition and the representation.
I love that. I love that. I wrote it down. The best thing is to get it, right? Is to get the information, to get the photograph. not wait until it's the best looking photograph that you can get. You may not have time to do that. You may not, given that. And I love the communication part too, because I was thinking about cadence, right? Like how people would prefer to be reached out to. Like you said, sometimes the content's too big for a text, but then you send it. And I think I remember we used to do email still have this where when someone's opened it up, when someone at the very
You
least has opened up
can,
your email.
you can. I don't do that because that's too
Okay,
much work.
I see.
That's too many
Yeah.
to get a red receipt for like a 60, 70 people. No, I don't want a red receipt for all those
Yes.
people.
There's that. And it's funny because the Capricorn in me is very close to business meeting, and it's not that, right? It's like, nope, not business meeting, more casual, a little open. The other thing I wanted to mention was the role of, you mentioned Facebook. So the Fullwoods have a Facebook, and so do the Houstons. And so this is one of the primary ways in which we keep, when I say primary, it's one of the ways in which we keep in touch and share information about graduations, new births, all kinds of things. Whether someone's not feeling well, so we reach out to them. All the holidays, we all have to say something, which is awesome. So we
Are
don't
they
have something
active?
on, not everybody, not
Okay.
everybody. And I'm even guilty of not saying something
It's like the
sometimes. I have to remind
usual
myself.
suspects.
It's usual suspects. It's the people are more active in social media on TikTok and so forth. So I expect those. And I thought earlier when I sent out, maybe about a month ago now, hey everybody, I'm working on the family program for the da da da. Send me any photographs, such and such. Crickets. Um, but now that I remember, there were a couple hearts, like, oh, this is great, right? But and that's a response. So it wasn't a
Mhm.
this is content response. It was I appreciate this response. So I like that. And so I think being able to leverage different kinds of communication with different people, because my great aunt is actually follows me on Facebook and occasionally will comment or like something, which is awesome. And then I mentioned this before, I interviewed her 4 times, 4 oral histories
Mm.
about my family, about her dad, which is my great grandfather. And it was so good to hear from her different siblings, her cousins, aunts, uncles, and so forth. But she knew things like birth dates, death dates, where people migrated to, nicknames, if they had habits, their children. It was phenomenal. And as
Hmm.
so part of what I described, part of my presentation for last year in Edmonton, Louisiana, was to share a little bit about what she said, and then to get a permission beforehand to say, "Do you mind if I share these with other family members?" And she said yes. And
Okay.
that's a very important thing, is to get people's permission. We understand, get people's permission if you're doing oral histories with them or sharing stuff, because as we know, things can get complicated sometimes. But she was like, absolutely. So this is really good. This is really good because, again, my goal is to always make sure I find creative ways at the family reunion, but also just throughout the year, to share information about the family that folks may or may not know, through little bios or photographs,
Yeah.
something they can send through fairly quickly and easily through through Gmail, so that people have it. This is our collection. I happen to be the family historian or genealogist. That's it. You know,
I
I could
do
use a
like
lot of
that.
help if you guys are listening to me. Lots of help.
I do like that. I mean, I think getting permission is definitely key.
Hmm.
I mean, that's one of the reasons obviously why you put a call out to people
Hmm.
too,
Hmm.
and things are extensive. I have a lot of things. I just scanned a lot of photographs for some of my family members. So I have a lot
Nice.
of, you know, but I did feel, especially around the memorial video, some kind of way of just putting things out there
Mm.
without talking to people. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
pictures and, so I think this getting permission and getting a lot of insight into what
Hmm. Hmm.
people want to share and don't want to share is super important.
Hmm.
Um, so I like that. That's a good, because we do. And we'll talk about this next time we have the kickback. We'll have a lot of stuff and to
Hmm.
include, and it's making these decisions of what to include and where to
Yes.
include them are really
Good point.
important. So I'm
Completely
also
important.
including videos. So I'm doing,
Okay.
so I'm gonna have, the memorial video that I'm putting together, but then I have like a lot of other videos, like family videos, especially
Oh,
some
nice,
things that we've
nice.
digitized. Is that something that you've
Hmm.
done? So we're gonna, still working on it, but I think we'll either have a projector,
Hmm.
or we'll have a TV, and I'll just put
I was thinking screen.
a thumb
Yeah.
drive in, and because the
Hmm.
TV might just be easier. Although we are going to have a Zoom
It's
call as well. So I don't really know yet
okay.
how we're going to do it. But
Hmm. Hmm.
whatever. But yeah. So we're going to have like a space where people can just go and watch
Hmm.
videos that they want. They're not going to be the
Nice.
super long ones, because I've got like
Hmm.
2 hour
Hmm.
long, videos. It's going to be things that
Hmm.
will roll pretty quickly through the years, but that's
Okay.
also a part of the family archival material that we're including this year.
Absolutely. I love that. So I have yet to do any videos for either family side, but I like that idea. I don't have a lot of videos or even like, MP4s. Is that what they are? MP4s
Yep.
files. I don't have a lot of videos, but I have a lot of digital images and digital
Mm.
images of older photographs. Um, I want to get into very briefly the things that you would recommend people doing at family reunions, because part of that whole video thing is something I'd love to capture more of. Have people talking. My cousins have taped different, like we have always have some sort of program and awards ceremony, which is so awesome. People who traveled the longest to get here. It's on my shelf somewhere up here. It was me from New York City last year. And
Oh,
to,
that's
you just have,
great.
right,
Okay.
you just have little fun games. Um, and one last thing before I continue my question is that one year, I want to, could have been last year, I raffled off a DNA test, an ancestry DNA test. And so that was pretty awesome. And put, look under your what tag do you have? What ticket number do you have? And so I was just trying to find ways to engage people rather than just simply sit and look at a screen and hear me drone on about this, that, and the other, but make it fun, and responsive in that way. So what kinds of things are you going to sort of activate at your family reunion? That things
So
that you
we're
would like
doing
to document later. Hmm.
Yeah, so we're doing a family trivia. And so this will be
Nice.
trivia on, our family, as best as we can. And so we'll see how
Hmm.
that goes. I feel like
Okay.
the next family reunion will probably be a little bit better, but
Okay.
so we're gonna do a family trivia.
Mhm.
We are definitely going to we do like introductions, obviously, and people will say like
Mhm.
they'll introduce their family, where they're from, and how they're connected. So we do things like that.
Nice.
Uh, Again, we'll have the video sessions. We're going to have an oral history session if people are interested in doing some oral
Oh, very
histories.
nice. Okay.
Um, it might be possible that we could do some genealogy research
Oh, wow.
during the
Okay.
event. We'll also just be doing other fun games,
Mhm. Mhm.
and like singing and things like that together. We'll
Mhm.
definitely have family pictures. So we're going to have somebody
Mhm.
documenting throughout, and then we'll have like a full
Excellent.
family picture. I think the
Nice.
full family
Nice.
pictures are always really, really wonderful to have.
Yeah, they
Um,
are. Mhm.
yeah, because they document the place and the time, like when we
Mhm.
had the reunion. I don't know if your reunion changes every year in terms of the place that it's at, but ours typically does. Our
Mhm.
family is up
Mhm.
here in New York, and then in Kansas, and in Memphis. And so it kind of
Okay.
goes,
Rotates maybe. Okay.
rotates. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
we
those
do
are some of the
family
things we're going to do.
portraits. Yeah. Well, those are
Hmm.
very good things. I love the family trivia thing. I might have to do some of that for the Houstons this year.
Well, I like
That's
the awards
exciting.
that you're giving out, because that's the other thing we do want to
Uh,
give out. We want to give out things, especially not
yeah.
just to the adults, but also to the kids. The kids are going to have like
Mhm.
face painting. So I've
Oh,
gotten some
good.
of the young adults, 18 and 19-year-olds, to
Mhm.
help with like having art stations for the kids so they can do
Oh, good.
dedicated things. Um,
Nice.
so that'll be good. That'll be a lot of
Mhm.
fun, so that the kids have something. In each place that we're at, we'll have like swing sets, basketball, soccer,
Hmm.
all the fun activities for kids to do,
Hmm.
while we're doing different things, because they're obviously not going to be as interested in some of the adult type activities.
That's actually very good. Those stations. So we've done different. Like we had a. I think Hawaii was the. So we had hats and we had leis and someone came in.
Oh,
We had a little
wow.
tiki bar. Did my cousin and his sister and all these wonderful people. They
So
laid
you
it
guys
out.
have themes.
We have themes. We have T-shirts. This is the
We got
forward side. I'm trying to
t-shirts.
get the Houston.
Yes.
I'm trying to get the Houstons on it. It's not easy, but if you're a Houston, you let's get on this. So yeah, that's great. We had sports. I think we had sports. We had card games. People playing cards. It was each reunion for different reasons was really like engaging, right? Some people are coming, they come a little late. Some people are there all the time. There's
Right.
always a dedicated crew of people cooking, whether it's breakfast, lunch,
Right.
because we would have it at a retreat space where there were cabins.
Oh.
So people were staying in cabins. Some of us, like myself,
Oh.
stayed in a hotel, but was there every day to help set up, clean up, knock down, all of it.
How many
Um,
days would your family reunion typically be for?
So it'll be Friday registration and maybe an event Friday night, like dinner. And then Saturday is the full day. And then Sunday is like breakfast. And this is when people are leaving.
Okay.
So that's the forward side. The Houston side, it's just Saturday, but I'm trying to ease it into Friday. So we have Friday dancing out somewhere, hanging out or what have you. And then Saturday be a full day of activity. So it's it's
It's a
it's a
lot.
challenge.
We have it in our locations our locations change daily. But so we have
Mhm.
it Thursday night. We're like
Okay.
Thursday night is a pre, and it's also
Okay.
getting your t-shirts and your program books. And then Friday we're doing a fish fry where you can also get your
Oh.
program books
I'll be there.
and your t-shirts. And then Saturday
Mhm,
is the bigger event. um
mhm.
and so that's the one we have more activities, and there'll be
Okay.
more introductions and all of
Mhm.
that. It'll be a little more formal at times, but um and then Sunday we're also doing a breakfast, and then we're going to do a tour of the resting places at the cemetery
Oh, wow,
here in
nice.
Rochester. So we did
Mhm, mhm.
last week. We do it every Mother's Day. We go to the cemetery and we do beautification. So we clean the stones, all the
Oh,
headstones. We
wow.
put rocks by it. If there's any weeds, we dig them up.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
we put flowers and um, different statues, and we take pictures and things like that, and
That's
we send it to people,
beautiful.
especially who are not in this
Right.
who are not
Mhm,
here with us, physically with us, so they can
mhm,
see, the pictures that we've taken with like their mother or whoever. Um,
mhm.
so yeah, so we've done that, and so we have, so we've beautified everything, so it's already ready to go,
Mhm.
and so we'll do a tour at that
Oh, I
Sunday,
love
and
the
then have
tour
like
part.
a little bit of a kickback on Sunday afternoon for whoever's still there. But so
Mhm.
it's a lot. We're doing a ton of stuff for some reason. Again, we were very ambitious. We were like,
It
let's just constantly, and then we provided, especially for the people who are out of town, a lot of
Mhm.
different things that they can do while they're here. Um,
Oh, yes,
so different things
definitely.
outside, yeah,
Yes.
outside of the reunion. And some
Mhm.
are like historical, like going to the Harriet Tubman house, or in some are just like fun, going to the casino or to different
Mhm.
parties that are happening, depending on, um, yeah, depending if you like the party at night or not. So,
It's funny because I'm the only one in New York City, and so the Houston family is largely situated in Ohio. And so I'm putting together the thing. It's like, well, Stephen, you might be the only person traveling. It's like, well, things you can do in Ohio, I can find out myself. Um, but I like this idea of having resources for people who are traveling in town. I love that because
yeah,
it's not required that you're at the family reunion the entire time. You maybe want to take this opportunity to go to the Eastman House, or go check out the
right,
Frederick Douglass, final resting place. I love those things. I do. I want
right.
I'm inspired by this talk. I'm going to add a few things to the program now.
Oh, well, yes, I
And
wanted to,
so,
yeah, because I'm like, after this, I'm going to ask you a little bit more about some of those activities you do to, especially give out awards. I like that
mhm,
because, we did not have time to do any real to recognize anybody's accomplishments.
mhm,
This time it
mhm,
would have been too hard to add all of that in.
mhm.
Um, but it is nice to have that part of the ceremony.
Agreed.
So
Mhm.
I will definitely add that in. I'm still getting
With
it
our
on a show
youngest,
together.
with
Right,
youngest member and our eldest member who attended.
right.
That was awesome. So good stuff there. Very good stuff. And we might honor a particular ancestor and particular elder. There's just all of this great stuff going on. I told
Yeah.
them next year I would be DJing at my the Full Woods. I want to DJ. So I'm gonna get all that together. I love this idea of music, shaping the thing in a little more intentional way because we always have music, which is awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, these are some good things. I think we might be coming up
Well,
on time.
I think so. The next time we talk, we'll talk a little bit more about how to. So, if you're thinking about this and you don't have as much when it comes to archival material to add to your family reunions, if you're still having them or any events that you have that includes family, we could talk about ways in which to document some of these things. We'll talk about ways in which to document your family reunion and keep it
Hmm.
um, to organize it and keep it, these artifacts for other
Hmm.
reunions or other occasions. You never know, or just to
Yes.
pass on to people. Um,
Hmm.
they're a lot of fun, like going back and looking at the video footage. There's no sound of like the 1970s, early 1970s,
Hmm.
those, events. It's wild. It's wild. And so it's a lot of fun to look back at. So it might not
It
seem
is.
as, when you're in the moment, it's like 2026, you're like, okay, I'm in 2026. But like, people who are in 2050 are going to look back and be like, that's wild.
You're gonna, wow, you guys are wearing that, or
Yeah.
yeah, it's good, and to preserve, like you mentioned, preserve those things for a variety of reasons, which is really important. Definitely for your family reunions, but also someone may have never heard her mother. Like, so for example, my mom passed in '97. I interviewed her before then, mentioned this on past kickbacks. Hearing her voice is really awesome
Right.
because I have that tape and that tape trans was it digitized, so now I can hear it online. So just the other day my friend came by and he goes, can you play that tape of your mom? And so I started playing it, and I thought I might cry, but I didn't cry. I just felt really happy that I had it and I was able to heir her. So
Yeah.
there's very special things about having resources for those who are no longer with us.
Right.
They mean more to me than a lot of stuff. So
Right.
mhm.
Yeah. I agree. Well, Stephen, so we have an in the telling that's coming up, hopefully
Yes.
next week, early next week. That is,
Hmm.
we're looking forward to airing. And so definitely if you're interested in more family stories,
Hmm.
check out In the Telling, our podcast.
Please do.
And anything else upcoming right now for us, Stephen?
No, but I do want to mention that there's a season 3 for In the Telling where Black genealogists come on and talk about their process, how they became Black
Yes.
genealogists, as well as a family story. So it's really dynamic, very dynamic. Tips on how best practices on finding people using different tools. It's tremendous. It's one of my favorite seasons.
It definitely check out season 3 if you're interested in genealogy. It's not on YouTube. There might be like one or two episodes on YouTube. For the most part, this we did
Hmm.
this pre YouTube, so you'll have to get it wherever you get your podcasts. But they're still great to listen
Yes.
to, and a wealth of information. If you go to our website and look at season 3, they
Hmm.
had a lot of resources, and we linked all those resources for each episode.
Yes.
So there's not
Hmm.
only the things that they share, but also the resources that you can look into yourself. So thanks, Stephen. Yeah, that's a good.
Hmm.
That's definitely that season's. Yeah, it's really amazing. It was really helpful for me. Um, so I know it'll be helpful for other people.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
Yeah. So otherwise, enjoy your Tuesday. We won't be back. We for another 3 weeks. We're normally every other Tuesday, but I
Hmm.
think it's not until is it June 16th? No, maybe. When is that Tuesday?
June. That would be
Yep, the 16th, I think.
the 16th. Great. Thank you.
Yep. So
June
June
16th.
16th is the next time we'll be back. And that'll be our final um, episode or final kickback for this
Hmm.
season. And then we'll be back in the fall.
So please join us now and then join us then. So thanks a lot. And don't forget, if you didn't get a chance to see this, it's funny, I'm talking to people who are not here. But this is, we post these on YouTube. So tell your
Yeah.
friends. Take good care.
Family reunion kind of vibe music.